Alright, hey, it's Mega here. So today I will be shooting a video on how to install an exhaust system on your second gen Toyota Prius. The reason I'm doing this is because someone stole my catalytic converter, so I'm trying to put a new one in. So if you want to find out how I acquired this, I made a different video about that. I'll put that in at the end of the video, or a link in the description if you guys want to find out the story of how I acquired this, but I'm not going to go over it in this video. So this video will focus on how to install a new exhaust system or a catalytic converter, because your catalytic converter is part of the exhaust system, basically. It's like the middle part of the exhaust system, and it all comes in one whole unit here. We'll take a closer look at it in a minute. So I'm going to show you how to install an exhaust system onto the car if your catalytic converter got stolen. And I'm going to kind of go over some of the parts that you're going to need, to replace it. And this is probably for more for like people that are in California, because I apologize for the wind noise too. It's kind of windy right now. Yeah. So if you're in California, you have to get one of these exhaust systems right here. If you're everywhere else, if you're like in an EPA federal state, you can buy like an aftermarket one and just replace the part that got stolen. So it's not so bad. But in California, this is the best route to just install a new one. Okay, and I will also have a link to how to install a catalytic converter shield, because I will be installing one right after I install this, just because I don't want this one to get stolen too. So if you want to check that video out, I'll put a link at the end of the video for this video series also. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look at what I got here. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the parts that you're going to need to install this new part of the exhaust system. This is assuming that your catalytic converter got stolen. So what I'll be doing is removing whatever's left of my exhaust system, and then we'll be bolting this in. So this is the best and easiest way, because you don't have to take your car to a shop if you can do it yourself. So and they're going to charge you like a lot of money to install this thing, and it's really not that hard. Okay. Okay, so what you're going to need is, so I'm going to tell you everything that you need, but you don't necessarily need everything. If someone had stolen your catalytic converter, chances are they just pretty much just stole the catalytic converter portion and left everything else. So you still have everything else. But this is what you're going to need to replace to do this install. So you're going to need the exhaust system, the whole catalytic converter assembly. So the exhaust system is this whole unit right here, minus the hangers and the oxygen sensor. You're gonna need the whole catalytic converter assembly. So what it consists of is a flange, 2 catalytic converters in line, a resonator, and the exhaust piping that connects to the muffler. Okay, and then obviously the other flange. So you're gonna need and then you're going to need 2 exhaust donuts. Oh, this one still has it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're going to need these exhaust gaskets. If yours, so mine came with it, so I don't really need it. I'm going to reuse that one. If it's still in good shape, you can reuse it. So this side doesn't have it. On the male side is I guess that's the where it sticks on. So my car actually still has it, so I don't really need it. So you're going to need an exhaust manifold. You're going to need an exhaust gasket, and they're like, it's like a donut, okay, just like I showed you on the other side. You're going to need one for the exhaust manifold to exhaust pipe or catalytic converter flange, and then you're going to need one for the muffler, okay. And this is what it looks like. See, it's looks like kind of pencil lead, sort of like graphite. That's what it looks like. And this one is still in good shape, so I'm still going to use it. Okay? So you're going to need the pipe, the whole exhaust pipe, the gaskets, and if you don't have the hangers, you're going to need the hangers. If you still have the hangers on your car, or if you still have this. So on my car, they cut the catalytic converter out. So they cut this and they left everything else. So I still have this part of my exhaust system left. So I still have my old hangers, but these ones are already on here, so we're just gonna use these, okay? But if you're gonna buy a brand new one, you're gonna need these also if you don't have them, okay? If the thieves didn't leave it on your car, which most likely they did. They probably just chopped it here and then they took this part. And then also you're gonna need an oxygen sensor. So this is the downstream oxygen sensor. I would suggest you get either a Denso or a factory Toyota one. The factory Toyota one is made by Denso. So, and this is what it's going to come like. It's already pre-installed for me, so I'm not going to go over installing the oxygen sensor. I'll give you a torque spec. It's not that hard. I'll show you a video clip on how to find the connector for it. Okay, that's the kind of tricky part, because this actually goes inside the car, and chances are, if someone had stolen your oxygen sensor, what they did is they cut this wire here, so they wouldn't have to disconnect it from the car, you know. So they cut this wire and they chop this part and they take this whole section here. So they'll probably steal your oxygen sensor with your catalytic converter. Okay, so you're going to need a new one of these. I think it's about like $100 from Toyota or your auto parts store. Maybe less. I'm not really sure, but the good thing is the exhaust pipe that I bought already has oxygen sensor, so I don't really have to worry about that. But it should come like this. It should come with the oxygen sensor unit here, the wire with a little jacket over it. There's a little grommet here that connects to the body of the car, and then the actual connector that goes into the car, and then the plug. Okay, so you're gonna need that, and then you're gonna need the bolts to bolt everything in. These look like they're all the same. They do look like they're all the same. Looks like they use the same for both sides. So, but you're gonna need, if the thief didn't leave you the bolts, which they did for me, fortunately. So I actually have the original bolts, which I'll probably use. But you're gonna need 4 of these, okay? So you're gonna have to buy the exhaust manifold bolts, or the exhaust manifold, the catalytic converter bolts, or just the exhaust bolts, the parts that hold the exhaust together. You're gonna need 4 of these, okay? And that consists of the bolt itself and a spring. Okay, the spring kind of looks like a valve spring from, like, you know, a cylinder head. It looks exactly like that now. But yeah, that's how they look like. Okay, you're gonna need 4 of those. If you already have them on the car, fortunately I was able to recover all my bolts, so they didn't take the bolts. They just kind of just left them there, and I was able to salvage them. So, and mine are still my back section is still connected, so that's where I'm gonna get those 2 bolts. So I actually don't really need these. So if anybody needs one of these, you know, I'll probably sell them to you for a good deal, 20 bucks or something. Okay, so here we go. So those are all the parts that you're gonna need, okay, to install this. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go over. The first step is to get your car up in the air. You're gonna have to jack it up as high as you can get it, okay? I would suggest using 4 jack stands and a jack, okay? If you need to get it higher, you can just hold it with. So what I had to do with the installing the shield on the 3rd gen Prius is I had to jack up the rear, put it on jack stands, and I jacked up the front, and then I just left it up in the air on the jack, okay? And then I put the jack stands underneath the car, so if the jack does fail, the jack stands will catch it. So, but really the only thing that was holding the car up, the front of the car up, was the jack. Okay, so I'm gonna see if we can just get away with just using the ramps. That's what I want to say. But we will have to jack it up as high as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna speed up the video. Then I'm gonna show you what it looks like after I got it up in there. You need enough room to be able to get up under the car with the exhaust pipe and get it up in there. So if you have access to a lift, you know, like a shop lift, that's even better. So it's better and it's safer, but you could totally do this with like 4 jack stands and a jack. And in this case, I'm using ramps also. So, but I'll show you the final, you know, when I get everything up in the air. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, here's me out. Okay, I got it up in the air. That's kind of as high as I can get it. I can probably get it a little bit more if I jack the front up with the jack and use jack stands, but I'm hoping this is going to be high enough. So I'll tell you exactly what I did to get it here. I know you guys watch a accelerated video of me doing it, but so I have these lower plastic stands that I use when I do oil changes. The Prius just rides straight up it. Okay, so what I did was I jacked up the front with the jack, this jack right here, any similar jack. This is another jack I have, but I use this big SUV jack. I use the biggest jack I got, so this jack is for like lifting up SUVs. It's like a 5-ton jack or something. It's a beefy one that I've had for a long time. So what I did is I jacked it up high enough where, and you saw, I pulled out the plastic ramps and I put these metal ones on because they're taller, okay? Like I said, the name of the game is that we got to get it as high as possible so we can work under the car, okay? And I did that on both sides, so I take the plastic ramps out and I put the metal ones in because they're taller. If we need more height, then we'll go use the jack stands, but I think this might be enough. When we install the shield, I'm not sure, but it's okay, it'll already be up in the air. So, all right, so that's what I did for the front, and then I went to the back. Okay, here's the back. Also, if you're wondering what jacking point I use, is I use the lower cross member. I mean the lower engine mount right here. Okay, this is where I jacked it up on with the jack. If you guys are wondering. If you don't know how to jack your car out like this and work underneath it safely, this is probably not the video for you, and you probably want to take it to a professional that knows what they're doing, okay? But Hades Omega is a professional home mechanic. Okay, so then I took my jack and I moved it back here and I jacked it up on that point right there. So that's the jacking point for the back. Okay, so I jacked it up as high as I can get it. Then I put my jack stands underneath. I have these Harbor Freight jack stands right here. These fancy aluminum ones. Okay, and where I mounted it was right where you is where the jack, where you would install a jack, you know, your emergency jack. Okay. Yeah, and I have it up all the way. It's pretty much as high as it'll go. So, and then you want to make sure you give the car a good shake. So. Give the car a good shake so you know it's stable, it's not going to fall down or anything before you work under it. So here I'm tugging on the car. It's not... Oh wow. Okay, I revised it. It's a little safer now. So what I did is I jacked up the rear more, and then I put the plastic jack stands underneath the rear wheels. So there's no parking brake holding it right now. I should probably put the parking brake on now. So what I did is I released the parking brake so the tires spin, and then like I shoved the jacks underneath the tires. Initially I had to pull up on the suspension, pull up on the wheel so the suspension would sag a little bit so I can get the ramp underneath. Okay, but yeah, so that's a little safer. The jack stands are still supporting it too. So I got like the rear jack, the jack, and the ramp. So that's like triple protection. Okay. And then I'm going to put the parking brake on so it doesn't roll. So like, the good thing about the ramps is they act as like a jack stand, so I don't have to worry about the car rolling down the driveway. You know? I had a problem while I was bleeding brakes on this car, or one of the it was an older car that I had, but it was an Eclipse, and it fell off the jack stand and it started like rolling out towards the street when I was working on it. So because I was working on the brakes. So all right, so yeah, so that's what I'm going to go with. Hopefully that'll be enough to install the cat shield too. So. Alright, so but I feel this is safer, and it's almost the same height as it was before, so there's plenty of clearance under there to get that catalytic converter up under there. Alright? Okay, let's make it. Okay, so before we get started working underneath the car, let's go look what we're working with here, okay? Let's get under the car. So now that it's safe to get under it, And it's high enough to get under there. Let's just crawl up under here. Alright. Okay, so here's where we're working. So as you can see, there's no catalytic converter, but the rest of my exhaust is still here, okay? We're probably gonna have to remove, we probably should remove this. This will make it easier maybe. Or it can help hold the pipe up, I guess. I don't know, we'll see if we can get it up under there without having to take this out. This is a support brace. This is the Mike 500 support brace. Your car probably won't have this. It'll have something else very similar, but it'll have like holes and stuff in it. It's a chassis stiffening brace is what it is, okay? The stock Prius don't have it, so yours will look different. So that's what we're working with. The catalytic converter should be right here, and then that's where it bolts in right there in the exhaust manifold, okay? And it still has the gasket on it, so it's the gasket is still on there, okay? And here's a heat shield. You can see where they cut it with the Sawzall. There's a bunch of holes in here. It's okay, that doesn't bother me too much. And then here's the rest of the pipe. So this is that resonator pipe here. Toyota, there's the part number, Toyota 32119 Futaba. And then it goes all the way here, and it's still bolted onto the muffler. So this is just for my case, and probably yours if yours got stolen in a similar way. So that's a special case for this video here, okay? So the first thing we're gonna have to do is unbolt the muffler right here, okay? That's not too hard. And then and get this exhaust pipe out. Okay, so that's gonna be the next part of the install, is uninstall the old exhaust, okay? And it's just held up by these hangers right here, okay? Before let's unbolt. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna unbolt this here, and then well, my pipe is like angled up a little bit. We're gonna unbolt this, unbolt the muffler from it, and then we'll take the hangers off, okay? And this is pretty easy. You kind of just, you know, peel it off of where it's hanging from. What I might do, these hangers still look like they're in good shape. I think I might just keep these hangers, and then we'll take the other ones off of the other one, okay? All right. If your thief stole the whole thing, then you're gonna need all those new parts, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt the old exhaust system from the car, or at least what's left of it. So it is a 14mm is what you're gonna want to use, and I'm gonna use an impact. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to use the impact gun to take it out. Yeah, it's pretty. It kind of flops around a whole lot, when the other part isn't connected to it, by the way. Okay. Okay, there's one. So you can see how easily these come out with the impact gun. That's what the thieves use, you know. Okay, those are out. Should be kind of free. You can pull it out from the old one. It should just kind of hang there because it's still connected. All right, the muffler is disconnected now, and really the only thing that's holding it up. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses also, by the way, if you're working under the car. Yeah, so really the only thing that's holding it right now is this plate and the muffler hangers, okay? So like I said, I think what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna use the ones that are on the new one. I'm just gonna take this off and leave this on the car, okay? So what you're gonna want to do is push these little rubber holder things out so it comes out. I think I can use a pry bar. I see them do this at the muffler shop all the time. So hopefully Hades Vega has learned something by watching. So I'm going to use this long pry bar to get the little prongs out of the muffler. See, there you go, it comes out. It might just fall too, so careful. Okay, there's one of them. So I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, I got to remove the other one from a different angle this time. You might be able to just kind of push it off with your finger too, you know, but so what I'm gonna want to do is I want to make sure I support it. It's not really heavy. The catalytic converter's not in there, so I'm thinking it weighs only like 10 pounds or something. It's not heavy at all. So. I'm gonna go hold this and then just. This one's a little harder because there's nothing supporting it anymore. Okay, it's almost out, and there you go. Okay, and then hopefully we can slip the rest of the pipe out. Ugh. Okay, I'll show you what's going on from my perspective. Okay, I could probably do this with one hand. Okay, so now all you got to do is snake the rest of your exhaust out of that bracket. The only thing that's keeping it in the car is that bracket right now. Okay. It's pretty light, like that. Try not to scratch it up. Mine has got a like 500 plate, so it might be easier if you have a stock Prius because the bar is a little bit smaller with the stock Prius. I got it out. It's the old exhaust system. So let's go take it and take a look at it and compare it to the old one, to the new one. Okay, so there they are, both of them side by side. So this is my old one, and this is the one that's going to be going into the car right now. So you can see that the thieves cut it right here, and they just they're only really concerned about taking this front part here. They don't need anything else. The other stuff isn't really worth as much money. So they just want to cut this part here. Okay, so that's the part we're going to protect when we install the cat shield. So yeah, so you can see mine looks cleaner, but it looks a little rustier because mine has like double the miles on it. This one has a lot of dirt on it. I don't know why. I don't know where they drove this car, but there's a lot of mud and stuff underneath the car. That's okay. So I still have the exhaust donut. It's still on there, so remember you're going to need this to install the new one. If you have a brand new one, you're going to have a new gasket because you won't have it. Or if you happen to have your old one, then yeah. But when it comes off, the exhaust gasket sticks to the exhaust pipe portion. Okay, the catalytic converter portion is what I want to call it. And it comes off of the muffler part, so you don't really need to do anything about that. Okay. All right. So what we wound up doing was we took out the rubber hangers and we left them on the car. We disconnected this from the rubber hanger on the car, so they're still on the car. So that means we got to take these ones out, so we can just slip this one right onto there. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard. So to take them off, I think you're just going to want to pull it, tug on it really hard. There you go. Comes off pretty easily. Okay, so that's one. That's two. Okay, so now this exhaust pipe is ready to install. And like I said, it has the gasket already on there, so I'm not worried about a new one. You know, it's still on there. It's still on there, and I still have my old one. If the new one was messed up, I could put the old one in. So. Alright, so yeah, so the next step is we're going to go install the catalytic converter, the newer catalytic converter into the car. Alright.